Good for you. You got a video that's doing well on your channel. It's a lovely feeling when that happens. The best thing to do that I found now, try and keep that traffic coming to your channel and try and get more subscribers and more views, is create a YouTube short. They're dead easy to do, but there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of, which I'm going to cover.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.
Now, I'm only a small YouTuber, and if I find that certain things work, I'll give you that information. That's the whole point of me when I started this channel, was to try and help and find out things for myself and give you that information so that you can then gain and benefit from it. First of all, the easiest way to do a YouTube short is just pick up your phone and go into your channel and then choose a video that you want to create the short. Get a good one that's got lots of views. I've got one here for a Range Rover with parking sensors, so I'm going to select that. So this video is what I'm going to create the short on. So if you look just underneath there, it says share remix. So if you hit remix, this is where you can press edit into shorts and you get 15 seconds from your mobile phone. Tap the screen to pause it. That was music playing. Now, if you move the image, choose a part of the video that you want to show your audience. But remember, you can only show 15 seconds, which is from one cut. You can't chop and change, take something from the beginning and take something for the end. So if I stretch this out to 15 seconds from this point here, and if we press play by tapping the screen,
sensor front left.
It doesn't give you very much. You can't see what's going on. So parts of that video are okay, parts of it you can see what I'm doing, but other parts are off the side of the screen. So you have to then centralize the image and just use that with DaVinci. It's easy to do. This is how I do it. So go into a new project and I'm going to call it Range Rover Parking Sensor Short. Keep it simple and press create. Okay, blank page and we're ready to go. Now, you can either go into the original video with all the different files and the audio and all the cuts that you made and work on that. But what I like to do, I just keep it simple. And all I have is the original file that I uploaded, the finished video footage that I uploaded into YouTube, and I'm just going to edit that. So Range Rover parking sensors, drag that over to your media pool. This here, change project frame rate. If that happens, just say change, that's fine. So let's drag that down into the old edit tab. So as you can see, we've got a full screen here, exactly how it is when I've uploaded to YouTube. However, what we now need to do is get the resolution so that it's in the YouTube short format. So go into your timeline, right click, go timelines and timeline settings. And just here, there's a box at the bottom that says use project settings. You can see grayed out, we've got 1920 by 1080. That right now is what we're seeing on the screen behind. If I untick that, and the new version of DaVinci has a little button here because we're going to reverse the 1920 by 1080. So hit that, bang. It's now the opposite way around. And if you press OK, you can leave the rest as it is. Now we've got the image and you can see the black outline where it's going to be for that format of YouTube short. But obviously it's not filling the screen. You've got the full video just shrunk down so that it can fit in the portrait mode. That's no good because it's just a smaller image. What we now need to do is stretch it, move the image left to right so we can centralize the bits that we want to show, and then we can cut the bits that we want to show throughout the video, join them all together to create our short. That way you've got a nice, detailed, interesting short that your viewers are going to love. So best thing to do is go to your transform button, and then you can just pull the corners and stretch it. But obviously watch what happens. As I stretch the image, you're going to lose an awful lot. I'm just off the edge of the page. Some would say it's a good thing. But you can then drag it over so that I'm more centralized. So right here I'm talking about the parking sensors, but if I go to the right, there you can see I'm talking. But at the moment, we're now sitting like this. So it's not too bad, but it could be better. So let's then find parts of the video that we want to join together, centralize it, and let's create our short. Now, when I create my videos, I tend to start off straight away so that there's no mucking about and I'm straight into the video. So I'm going to try and take bits of this video that are of interest and create the short. So I'm just going to put the settings back so I can see what's going on. What's this image here?
Here's sensors power circuit. Now try and get the contacts.
So that's quite a good one to start on. Diagnostics is a big part of the YouTube videos that I create. So if I go back,
it sees it as an anomaly.
So let's start here. Let's see what this looks like.
Parking assist control module, here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit.
Right, so that's quite good. That's straight away right into it. I'm not boring the audience, and they can see that I'm using a diagnostic tool. So I'm going to just take that part of the video. Right, let's go here. Let's do a cut. Just use a little cut tool, and let's go forward.
Parking assist control module, here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit. So I have to rear sensors power circuit.
Right, so I'm just going to cut it there. So this little section of my video, let's stretch it. So go over to your transform. You can go up here and do it. You can just zoom that way, but I just find it easier with the transform. Give you an example. Put the playhead over the clip, which is highlighted in red. You can just zoom it. And as you zoom, you're then going to have to position it to the right, etc. Or I can just go to transform, pull the corners, and this is how it's going to be shown on the YouTube short. You can see why using a Mac or a laptop is going to be a little bit more beneficial. But look at the wording, it was off the edge there. But I also want to show the fact that it's iCar soft, because a lot of people are interested in this piece of software I use. It's a diagnostic tool. So maybe I'll go about there and let's run it and see how that looks.
Parking assist control module, here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit.
Good, okay, that's nice, quite like that. Bit of information. I'm going to go back in time now. Let's go back to the bit before when I was talking about the chime.
It can cause an issue. Maybe there is a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly.
Okay, so it's quite good. I've gone into the taking apart the... I'm going to take it just there. I'm going to move this image just over, and I'm going to see if I can do the same idea and run it next to the diagnostic part. Let's have a listen.
There's a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly.
Right, that'll do. Okay, so I'm going to stretch that out, put the playhead back over that clip, use the transform button, move it right out. Let's take away inspector, give myself a bit more space. Okay, it's not bad. Let's see how that looks.
Parking assist control module, here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit. Maybe there is a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly.
Right, okay, so we've got two things going. At the moment, let's just move that over there and just take it back to the beginning. We have 9 seconds worth. It's a 15-second short that you're going to do, but on the computer, you can make it a little bit longer. So it doesn't give you a lot of time to be able to do things, so you are trying to sell it to the public, remember? So you are trying to make sure you get all the good bits in, so don't go too long on it. Let's just take a transform and see where we go with the next bit. So I might just take this image here because it does tell a story. I'm under the car in the rain and I'm showing that I'm working on the sensors. So actually, I could put that at the beginning, couldn't I? Let's do that. So let's press play. And I'm going to go back, take me out there. And that little part I like. So I'm going to move that. I'm going to put that probably at the beginning. So let's get the playhead at the beginning. You can press you can press Option Y and it puts everything in front of the playhead to the red, and then you can just drag it. And then I just pull that in front there. So now we got this. But we now need to stretch it. So back into the image, go to the transform, and if I stretch it, I'm going to lose where I am. So I'm going to just try and move it slightly to the right so that I can show that it's a Range Rover at least. You can stretch it slightly as well, as in elongate it. So that's not too bad. Okay, let's see how that looks. Back onto the beginning. Go.
Parking assist control module, here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit. Maybe there is a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly.
All right, so now we have got pretty much 15 seconds. You know, well, it's 12 seconds there. It's not a lot, but as I'm working on the laptop, I can go a bit more. So I'm telling the story. I'm going to cut just there because I'm talking about the sensors schematic. Okay, so let's work on this part here. Let's go forward.
And then these are the 4 individual sensors. Yellow and red, the black and the brown, they're all good.
Right, so let's cut it here. And let's bring my little clip over to my short. I can move those over a bit. As I said, this is how I do
And
it.
then these are the 4 individuals.
You can also, now that we're using DaVinci, you can do a little zoom in if you wanted to. You can dynamic zoom in. So let's go to dynamic zoom and it will move in. Let's go to the inspector, press dynamic zoom, and we can swap it so that it will go in to the screen like this. So let's play that clip.
And then these are the 4 individual sensors.
But we've got to stretch it, remember. So let's go back up. Hit transform. And we can stretch. Just to that. And you see how that looks.
Maybe there is a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly. And then these are the 4 individual.
Now you can see that this is not showing the user what I'm pointing at. So let's drag it over to the side. And let's play the clip and see how that looks. I'm going to take off dynamic zoom, don't need that.
And then these are the 4 individual sensors.
And now you can't see what I'm testing. So the best thing to do,
This nestle sensor.
is go back to the beginning of the, is go back, cut it after I've started talking about the schematic, and I can then move the playhead onto the next part, and I can centralize that over and show that I am now doing a bit of testing. Let's have a look and see how that looks.
Individual sensors. Yellow and red, the black and the brown.
Right, so this bit I get all excited. I'm going to put that in there because I actually fixed my parking sensors, so I can delete that. And let's move this over. I'm just going to see how that looks. I need to stretch it out, remember. I'm going to centralize myself as well. Right, let's see how this bit looks. So let's go back. I'm going to smooth that over slightly. Let's just press play. Let's cut this down a little because I haven't got much time.
Oh man!
So that's good. I'm showing a real life expression. I was genuinely overjoyed.
Yeah! Got parking sensors.
Baby, I'm a gangster too. It takes a little time.
So I quite like the old intro thing that I've done, but I'm going to put that at the back end of the video, and that'll be pretty much the end of my short. So let's little play with this. Alright, so now I've basically got all my clips. It's very crude, it's very basic, but all this here is now all edited together. And let's have a look and see. Let's take out the inspector. We'll go into full mode. We'll have a little look.
Parking assist control module. Here we go. Front sensors power circuit and rear sensors power circuit. Maybe there is a resistance and the circuit sees it as an anomaly. And then these are the 4 individual sensors. Yellow and red, the black and the brown. They're all good. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it. Oh man! If that's not worth a subscribe, I don't know what is.
It takes a little time. Come on, let's go. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
Send it over to the delivery tab and choose which your format's going to be. So let's go for YouTube. That works for me. I'm going to call it Range Rover Parking Sensor Short. So you got your little short all sorted. Let's get it onto YouTube, and I'll show you a little trick. You might already know this, but it'll save you a load of time if you don't. Have a look at this. So to upload your YouTube short, just go to create and upload videos. Find the file where you can just drag and drop, as you well know. So here's my file, Range Rover Parking Sensor Short. And away she goes and does her magic. Right, the best thing to do is reuse details. So hit the reuse details and find that video, which is in full. For me, it was parking sensors. You can use the whole title. I just leave it all ticked, all the tags importantly as well, because they are basically exactly the same. You just created a short version of your full-length video. So let's reuse it. The only thing you need to add here at the top is you can put in option hashtag shorts like this. There's also short video or shorts. You can do a combination of both if you really wanted to. So let's go hashtag shorts video. There we go. So I like to put down here at the top, I just like to open up another YouTube Studio, copy, go back to the one that you're editing and pop it in there. And the description shows other videos within that series. So everything else can remain the same. Let's press next. And monetization, if you're lucky enough to be monetized, you can select that on. Add sustainability and make sure that you submit the rating. And the video is now being checked. So I've just uploaded a video into YouTube as a YouTube short. I like to test it, see how it looks. And I found that I get this problem sometimes where even though you think you've put the settings correctly so that it's in the portrait mode, it doesn't show properly. A good example is this one that I just uploaded. You can see that when I go to view it, it's rotated around 90 degrees. So don't worry, there's one little box that I find if you tick, should be able to sort your problem out. A couple of things that you need to look at though first to make sure that your uploaded YouTube short is going to show correctly and actually is deemed as a YouTube short. This is the one that I just uploaded. If you have a look at the videos below, you'll see this little shorts icon and you can see that the orientation is exactly the same as the one that I've just uploaded, but it doesn't have this icon. And at first I thought, well, maybe it just get added later on. But actually what it means is actually it's not an official YouTube short video. If I click on it and play it, for example, I see it in the correct orientation. So why doesn't it play properly on the phone? So you can see despite it playing in the correct orientation on the big screen on my laptop, on the phone it doesn't seem to behave itself. So what I found to do in the past is go into your DaVinci, open up the project that you just done, and when you go down to the delivery tab and click on the format that you want, YouTube, just here there's a little box and it says use vertical resolution. Add that to the render queue. You can see the one at the top there was the previous one. This is the one that I'm going to do now. So let's render that. Shouldn't take long because it's only short. You can see as it's rendering that the image that I'm seeing on the screen there now looks to be correct. If I look at the render that I did before, now see how it's squeezed in the middle. When I see that, I now know that when I play it on my phone, it's going to look like it's the wrong way round. It's going to be rotated. Then simply stop the render, click the button, use vertical resolution, and then render it again so that the image that you're seeing fills the whole screen. So going back to the video that I created, the YouTube short, even though when I go to the timeline and I have a look at the settings, the timeline settings show as 1080 by 1920. The box for use vertical resolution has been ticked, so it's in the right orientation and the image behind on the screen looks all to be good. But for some reason when I go over to the delivery tab, this box here quite often gets unticked. So if you look at the resolution, it's showing the opposite. It's showing 1920 by 1080. On the timeline settings, as we just had a look at, that was the other way around. That shows as 1080 by 1920. So just check when you go to the delivery tab and you select YouTube or whatever format that you want to go on, make sure that you have the use vertical resolution ticked. Watch the numbers above, 1920, 1080 swap around, like that. Then add to render queue, and away you go. Okay, so the easiest thing to do to upload the format of the video now which has been corrected, open up another tab, go into YouTube Studio, press create, upload the video, and let's go and find that new video that I've just created, the correct orientation, which is this one here, because I left it untitled. We can reuse all of the details that we did on the other YouTube short video, which was the wrong orientation, which is this one. Click on that, leave everything as it is, press reuse. All the details are there, you don't need to edit or change anything, press next. Right, and now you can publish the video. So now, if I go to the contents, you can see that we have the familiar little YouTube short icon. The one below it, which was the wrong one, hasn't got it. I don't need that anymore. These two details are exactly the same. This is the wrong one, so I'm simply going to go down to the three dots. I'm going to delete forever and confirm and understand. Here we go. Done. Now that I've got this icon, I know that the video is going to look good. So I'm going to get my phone again and let's have a look and see if it looks okay. So back into my channel and we head over to the Shorts tab. There I am. Got no views at the moment, but let's select the video and see if it looks okay on the screen. There we go. It's now all sitting in the
Parking
right
assist control
orientation.
module, here we go. Front sensors, power circuit, and rear sensors, power circuit.
So here we are, all uploaded. Let's click on the short, see how well it's doing. So in the few minutes that it's been going, go into the analytics. We have 252 views, of which I've gained 2 subscribers off the back of that YouTube short. So let me know if it works. Thanks if you chose to subscribe.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.